What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Salud, ma. Welcome back to my channel. It is currently about 7:30 a.m. on Friday morning. What is today's date, ma? The 22nd? I don't know. I lose track of the date. Irrelevant, inconsequential. So today's video is going to be a Quimbanda Talks video, and I specifically wanted to do this video because of some things that I was seeing online that I kind of want to unpack a little further from my own perspective as a Tataeshu, as a Tataenganga in Quimbanda, as somebody that has their asentamientos and works with the spirits of Quimbanda. And have been initiated into their mysteries and into their tradition now for 2 years next month. So, Saravaeshu Salve Pumpagira. Let's get into it. So, what basically I had seen was like that somebody was trying to make a connection between Quimbanda, or basically saying that it was not really different in any substantial way to New Orleans voodoo, which was like just like a kind of like a mixture of like Orisha and like so it was like the Loa, Orisha, and then something else. So I do not practice, nor am I familiar with like the customs of Haitian voodoo or New Orleans voodoo. I think the Loa are immensely interested. That's just not a particular tradition that has like called to me in the ways that Lukumi, Palo, and Quimbanda have. So it hasn't really been something that I have ever pursued. Now, on the flip side of that, we have like ants everywhere, and they like always are like biting my little feet. Now on the flip side of that, since 2015, I have been initiated into Lukumi. Since 2018, I have been initiated into Palo, and then in 2017, I was initiated into Quimbanda. So if you wanted to go in like chronological order, it would be Lukumi, Quimbanda, Palo, in that perspective order. Now, I hold different ranks in those three traditions, but what I can tell you is that when it comes to like how our Kabula or Terreiro or House of Quimbanda, our Temple of Quimbanda, is practiced, does not call on the Orisha, does not call on the Loa, does not really involve any of those like key players in any way. Now, I can tell you that as far as I know, our lineage in Quimbanda is like an Angolan line. Now, I'm not really sure comparatively, because I live here in the United States and I've never been to Brazil. I haven't really witnessed with my own two eyes the legacy of Quimbanda and all of the multiplicity and the ways that it like really, pardon me, took shape in Brazil, and what spiritual function it served the Brazilian people. So to me, I can see it being most similar to Palo, which is, based from the Bantu people, so the Congo, etc. So they're very geographically close to one another, Angola and what is now common day Congo. So I can see how they have some of the same flavors, but to me, even still, Palo is like its own completely separate, different thing. And Lukumi, as it is practiced in the house that I'm initiated into, is its own completely separate, different things. And then in the Kabula, the Quimbanda house, we just work with like Eshu and Pumbajita. So we don't call onto the Goesha. We do not call onto the Orisha. to intercede or to... Now, I do know in Candomblé, which is the Orisha tradition that's commonly practiced in Brazil, and in Umbanda, you may definitely have presence from the Orisha and other things that get mixed in. And that makes a lot of sense if you look at Umbanda, I feel, as more of like an espiritismo kind of thing, or achieving that same type of spiritual function. But over there, to whereas here I feel like we have sought to like address those same things, but in the United States they have kind of like established themselves with different flavors. So I can definitely see if you're talking to like a quimbadero that is also like an umbandista. I'm not really sure what the someone that practices umbanda as well, we'll just say, to keep it simple. So I can't say definitively like you would not hear the orisha come up if you were speaking to someone that was practicing like those two things together. But as like Quimbanda has been presented to me, which is all I can speak on, so let's just like really be clear about that. The rest is just like my opinions based on like what I have seen, based on like the conversations that I've had with elders in our Kabula. So it's just, you know, and conversations that I've had with friends and other like practitioners of Quimbanda, etc. The Quimbanda is very individualistic, I feel, and I have felt. But I also feel that Quimbanda is spreading out. It's rooting itself, and its roots are getting deeper here in the United States. And I have been like criticized in the past for different things as it comes to Quimbanda. But what I can tell you is like when I am praying or doing anything with any of the spirits in Quimbanda, but primarily like my Eshu, my Pombagira, that's all I'm really working with. You know, like I'm like praying to them specifically, I'm giving them offerings specifically, I'm doing work with them specifically, I'm doing macumba with them, but it's with Eshu Sete Pedras and Pombagira Reina da Calunga. So now, in addition to that, there are other spirits in Quimbanda that have spoken to me and that have caught my interest and that I want to seat in like an asentamiento style. And there are other like Quimbanda spirits that I have like worked with or called to or just like prayed to or like have experienced like them touching my life in some capacity. So there are definitely like spirits that I would like to get a statue for, have an asentamiento consecrated for that spirit, and so on and so forth, to expand my own personal like terreiro and temple of Quimbanda. All of that to say, when I came across this person's post, it's not that it like struck me in any type of way. Like I didn't feel any way about it. I really didn't. It was just like, I guess, a little hard for me to kind of like see the connection. I mean, like, I guess, like, if you grew up in that area, maybe that is the difference, is that, like, I just grew up in, like, Southeast Texas, and now I went to college in Central Texas, and now I live in Florida. So, like, I can definitely see just, like, where you grow up also plays, like, a huge impact. Also, like, where you're initiated, who you're initiated by, where they practice, and, like, their you know, little organism, if you will, that they do, that then they pass down and you become a part of. So I do find all of that stuff interesting. It's just like, I guess maybe the reason I bring some of this up is because in that post, like, you know, several people were like going back and forth and like talking about many different things. I personally feel like we spend too much time arguing about the differences of something, when I think it would serve us a little better to just be more understanding and accepting, and I'm not saying not critical, but also just more conducive for like a community to really grow and not just like wither away and die on the vine. you know. So I've seen and experienced like a lot of toxic mentalities in the spiritual community, and like it's a little discerning to me, you know. And like I understand where all of like the heat and the fire and the passion is coming from, but at the same time I'm like, I just feel like maybe we could be using that energy to serve deeper aspects of like ourself, our work with spirit, and like the community that we're a part of, and like the legacy that we are building and passing down. So all I can tell you is like, in my Quimbanda practice, I exclusively work with Eshu and Pumbajita. To date, in the 2 years that I've been initiated, I have never had Eshu or Pumbajita like refer to anything outside really of the realm of Quimbanda. So yeah, so I don't know. I mean, there are definitely other entities like Omoluo, which is a praise name, I believe, for Babaluaye or Asohano, but like purely in a Kimbanda context. But Omoluo is, I believe, also used just as like another name for Babaluaye to represent like that energy. But I feel like in Kimbanda, I mean, either way, still it's all like Asohano's playing field. You know what I'm saying? Like decay, decomposition, etc. Like you would all find Asohano there. So in that regard, I mean, I don't feel like it's like particularly like that big of a stretch of an imagination as to how some energies were like translated over or how they're represented currently. But I guess like the heart of what I'm trying to say is like in Kimbanda, I pretty much exclusively work with Eshus and Pumbashitas. In Lukumi, I work with the Orishas, I work with the Egun, I work with my spirit guides. You know, we do misas. That's more of a spiritismo. It's not so much like, but it does like kind of go side by side with Lukumi practitioners I've seen. That's my opinion. And in Palu, you know, like my Munanso that I am a part of, like my tata is definitely, you know, a sendero, and he is a mayumbero, he's a palero. So, but that's really the extent of like his stuff, besides other like personal practices that he may have. So I mean, if we're saying like it's similar to Palo, yes, I would agree with that. I can't say like where the I keep wanting to say Haitian voodoo, where the New Orleans voodoo kind of comes into that. But that may just be like a difference of perspective, honestly. And that, it's a powerful thing. I don't know what to say. So with that all being said, I would love to hear your guys, gals, and non-binary folks' thoughts on I guess maybe, oh, there's a cardinal over my right shoulder, you guys can't see, but he's back there. What's your thoughts on the topic are, especially, you know, like people that may watch this video, and if you're like initiated into like a few different like ATRs or like spiritual traditions, like how do you keep things separate? I mean, in my experience, it's just like in that moment, that's what we're doing, whatever it is that we may be doing, you know. And each of those things has its own like liturgical rules and like protocols that you follow, and like specific things that you do to like open the space and like prepare whatever it is that you're doing, and consecrating everything, and like, you know, from like feeding and like calling the spirit and like whatever, it's all fixed within the context of like that specific tradition. So we're not, you know, doing like an Orisha thing and then like Eshu is coming up. I mean, Eshu Alegua may come up, but that is like very distinct from like Eshu, the Kimbanda spirit. So which I guess like, you know, that can be a little confusing phonetically for people that may not be familiar with the differences between Eshu and Kimbanda and like Eshu Alegua. So I don't, you know, I mean, like you'll just have to dive a little deeper is all I can tell you on that, because the differences and the similarities are both very interesting. But I feel that there is still obviously like a very distinct difference between all of those spirits. So in our Quimbanda, it's just kind of like stays Quimbanda. So yeah, sound off in the comments below your thoughts, your feelings, how this video, you know, food for thought, what you may thought of this video, etc. So many blessings to you wherever it is that you may be. Have a great day. Bye.